I'm sure dealing with a lot of your female clients, like having to break years and years of like misinformation and this and like, diet approaches and Shape Magazine and all the other. I wonder if a lot of this is almost like reprogramming and being like, it's okay to eat this stuff. Like, as long as you don't overeat, we're usually in pretty good shape.
Yeah, that's a great question. And it is definitely something that I experienced, obviously, myself. And then I was in grad school, I was the athletic trainer for a women's swim and dive team. And we had, I think it was like 35 girls that I was working with. And it was a big struggle, especially with swimming and diving. They're in their bathing suits and they have, a lot of body image and things like that issues, which a lot of, female athletes do struggle with. And I think it's one of those things where like the education side of things and like working with the individual with what they're struggling with is super important. And really, I think that one of the biggest things aside from nutrition is just looking at everything else that's going on too. And that's what I like to take kind of like this full approach with all of my clients is like looking at their overall lifestyle. Like what is like their stress management like? What's their sleep like? What are these other things? Because these all play into like the recovery side of things and having them just feel good throughout the day, right? So that obviously nutrition is a huge piece of it, but the recovery side of things is something that I think, especially with a lot of women, especially if you're kind of more type A, like I am, or at least I was, we always want to like go and do more and think that doing more is better, right? And not letting yourself recover. And that's a huge piece of the puzzle that I think a lot of people are missing. I missed that for myself for a while. And that's one of the biggest things I think within college athletics too, is like that recovery side of things. But then coming back to the fueling side, like I said, I think it's really big on education and like explain to them like, okay, this is why you need to be consuming this amount of protein, because this is what happens, if you don't consume this amount of protein, and this is how it's going to affect your performance or just calories in general, right? Like this is why you need this fuel, not only to perform, but to, like I said, recover and be able to, push yourself more. And I think I struggled a lot as I was an athletic trainer in grad school. I struggled explaining this to my athletes. And I think that there is, especially in college athletics, I feel like there is just a lot of, or not enough education when it comes to nutrition. I think we're getting better at it, but I think there's just still a lot of stuff that people are kind of stuck in the old textbooks and in the old ways of things that it's a little bit, it's a big struggle. But yeah, it's a loaded question, but I think just education and explaining things and kind of working with the individual, like where they're at emotionally, is very, very important. And that's what I try to do with a lot of my clients. I don't typically work with that many, like clients that are coming from college or anything like that. Usually my clientele is probably around 30s and above.